In the bustling town of Beitbridge in Zimbabwe, a seemingly ordinary couple found themselves entangled in a web of domestic strife. Their names were Geraldine Nyoni and Majahana Mazibuko. Their story, though tragic, serves as a stark reminder that love can turn to rage and how a single moment can alter the course of lives forever. Geraldine, a 26-year-old mother of 3, and Mazibuko, 50, lived in a modest house in Dulibadzimu suburb in Beitbridge. Their relationship was characterized by financial strain, and the pressure of making ends meet weighed heavily on their shoulders. Arguments over the rent money that they owed their landlord became a common theme. Their disputes escalated. On a fateful evening on 4 March 2017, around 8 p.m., the couple's disagreement reached boiling point. They hurled accusations at each other. Their words turned into shouts, and the shouts turned into violence. In the dimly lit house, Geraldine's anger surged, fueled by frustration and desperation. The final straw, it appears, was the row over the paternity of their 5-month-old daughter. Geraldine had told Mazibuko earlier during the argument that the child was not his. This did not go well with her husband. The incident became the talk of the border town. After the altercation, 2 relatives of Mazibuko, Zwelibanzi Phakathi and Saidi Chisa, came to the house and complained about Nyoni's treatment of her husband. Harsh words were exchanged with Nyoni, and then they drove away. Mazibuko remained with his wife and tried to calm her. She was trembling with rage. In that fit of rage, Geraldine delivered a vicious kick to Majahana's private part. The man doubled over and gasped for breath, but Geraldine was not yet done. She seized a kitchen knife, which soon became an instrument of tragedy. With a swift motion, she plunged the blade into Mazibuko's neck on the right side. Immediately, blood sprayed across the floor. Soon after committing this heinous crime, Nyoni ran to Dulibadzimu police base and made a false report that her husband was refusing to give her custody of their daughter. This was a lie that was meant to cover her crime. However, when the police later received a death report, they arrested Geraldine. Mazibuko died on the same night upon admission at Beitbridge District Hospital. The neighbors had found him lying in a pool of blood and they had taken him to hospital. But unfortunately, a few minutes after admission, the man passed on. The baby was picked up by one of Mazibuko's sisters, who found him lying on the blood-stained floor, crying. The blood-stained knife, which was allegedly used in committing the crime, was found at the house. As Mazibuko lay bleeding, Geraldine made a chilling decision. Instead of seeking help from her neighbors, she fled the scene. Maybe panic was coursing through her veins. She came up with a false report to divert suspicion. Geraldine was transferred from Beitbridge to Bulawayo for trial. The court did not look kindly upon Geraldine's actions. Bulawayo High Court Judge Justice Thompson Mapikwa saw through her deception. He recognized the gravity of her crime, that of ending a life. In December 2018, in a stern voice, the judge pronounced her fate. She was to spend 15 years in jail, as he had convicted her of murder with constructive intent. He lamented the fact that there were rising cases of women committing serious offenses like murder. He urged the society to protect the sanctity of life. Geraldine's name echoes through the corridors of justice. Her story is a haunting reminder that beneath the seemingly ordinary life that people live, there lurks unimaginable darkness and evil intentions. The memory of Mazibuko lives on in Beitbridge, especially in Dulibadzimu suburb. His was a life that was needlessly lost in a moment of fury and despair. According to Mazibuko's neighbors, the two had a long-standing domestic feud. Communication was clearly a problem in the relationship. Geraldine was also described as a violent person. It appears that the issue of paternity only triggered a fight that had been simmering for quite some time. The neighbors said that they had not seen such a gruesome act, especially committed by a woman. The image of Mazibuko storming out of his room with blood gushing out of his neck, screaming and shouting for help, will be deeply engraved in the residents' memories. Nyoni, who is incarcerated at Chikurubi Female Prison, says that jail has changed her and her view on life. She says that she still does not understand how she could get so angry to the extent of stabbing her husband to death. Her remorse may be too late. She should have thought about the children before committing the crime. Her children were innocent victims of her impulsive actions, and we try to imagine what they went through without a father figure and without their mother. It should have been an excruciating moment for them. As we contemplate taking action in whatever crisis, in whatever dispute, it behoves the individuals involved to think about the dire consequences, or in the end, we cry over spilt milk. It may be too late to take corrective action. It may be too late to reverse whatever action would have taken. Words, once they come out of the mouth, cannot be swallowed, but words on their own are not harmful. Human beings have to learn to solve their issues amicably, lest they relegate family to a dangerous institution, which should be an institution of love, understanding, care, compassion. Above all, it should be an institution for nurturing young children. Thank you for watching this episode of Luminous Recaps. We meet in the next installment when we look at yet another luminous story from a different social environment. It is bye for now.